and welcome back to my channel. So I feel like I am doing like a little segment or two on talk shows because I had another talk show like clip come up in my YouTube to check out, and I was quite intrigued by the title. The title was Attorney General William Barr compares quarantine to slavery. So I was like, okay. So I clicked on it and they played a little clip, and I will place again a link to, this dog is determined to ruin my situation. I will place a link to the video so you guys can watch it and let me know what you think. But essentially they played a clip of Attorney General William Barr likening that the stay-at-home orders that we're all under with the masks and like the quarantine and all this stuff, he likened it to slavery, okay? He said it's an injustice on our civil liberties, basically saying, you know, in addition to just how slavery was an injustice on people's civil liberties, so is this, okay? I understood what he was saying because I'm not like an overly sensitive person. And honestly, if they wouldn't have done like a segment on this, just like isolating this one little comment, I wouldn't have even thought twice about it. But I wanted to make this video to comment on it because I'm just like, what is wrong with these people? Like, seriously, you're going to get hung up over that? Like, if you really want to break it down, okay, let's look at what these stay-at-home orders are, okay? You can't leave your house, okay? Your kids can't go to school, and if they do, they're going with a mask. You know, in some places, restaurants are completely shut down. Like, you know, stores are completely shut down. You can't, you know, in some places you couldn't go to church, okay? What else couldn't you do? You couldn't go to work. And then if you walked out, you had to wear a mask. Otherwise, you were going to get arrested. You know, I'm lucky to be in Dallas where we have really like lightened up, you know, on the restrictions and all that stuff. But there's still a lot of places that are like under some severe lockdown orders still, you know, and I don't even know why, okay? Because they came out and said that COVID isn't as bad as they thought it was. And the numbers that they were giving us in the beginning were all inaccurate anyways, okay? So there, I'm still confused about that. But I understand like the nerve that this touched, okay? But I want people to know that he wasn't saying this is an equal, you know, civil liberty and justice to slavery. He wasn't like comparing the two and saying they're exactly alike. Obviously, they're two different things. But what he was saying is, as far as our rights as citizens of this United States, a right that we all have, not a right for blacks or whites or whatever, a right that we are all entitled to, we are being robbed of, okay? And I think people are so accustomed now to just following the herd and doing what everybody's doing that they don't even see that their rights are being taken away because they're so used to being told what to do and just following orders. Now, the ladies actually said, well, you know, the whole reason why we're doing this is to save lives. Hey, listen, I'm sure if you would have asked the slave owners, you know, back in the slave days, if they were, you know, doing the right thing, because keep in mind, slavery was legal at the time, okay? And I also want to point out that not all of slavery was doom and gloom and like people hanging from trees. You also have to, you know, acknowledge the fact that there were a lot of slaves, okay, that were treated really, really well, obviously, because they were commodities. They were property to the people that owned them. So they treated them very well, okay? Because you wouldn't invest in something and then treat it poorly or, you know, like just throw it away like garbage. Now, yes, there was bad stuff that happened for sure. I'm not going to deny that, okay? But there was also a lot of slaves that were treated like family. So much so that even given the opportunity, they wouldn't run from their slave owners because they consider them like family. I even watched a documentary, I think it was like on Vice Channel, of a man whose family worked on a plantation in the South, and this plantation was still like, you know, going to this day. And the family was brought up on this plantation. The black family was brought up on this, excuse me, oh my God. Man, get out of here. Get out. Get out. So, the Black family was brought up on this plantation, and the son of, one of the original slaves of this plantation became best friends with the little boy who also lived, the little white boy that lived on the plantation with his family. Okay. So they became the best of friends. So as they grew up, obviously slavery was no longer a thing, but he said, hey, you know what? You've always worked here. I love you like a brother. I love you like family. If you want to continue to live here, you can help me run the business and live here for free on the property, which he does. He is not treated poorly. He is treated very bad. And that was his choice. He didn't have to do it, but he chose to stay there. Okay. Now we're not going to get into that because a lot of people will debate the state of mind that some people are in, that, they get very attached and they don't want to leave, and that still doesn't make it right. I'm not going to debate that with you. But in regards to this, the ladies, said, oh, well, we're wearing the mask to protect people, and we're wearing the mask to do this, and we're wearing the mask to save lives. First of all, the masks haven't been proven to save lives, number one. Number two, the numbers that you were given were a lie, okay? And number three, you can justify it all day long, but the fact of the matter is we are entitled to certain alienable rights as citizens of this country, and we are getting those rights, modified unjustly, I believe. We don't have the right at this moment in some places to choose that we don't want to wear a mask. You know what I mean? I posted something the other day that I thought it was very interesting, that here in Dallas, I can go out to eat, and yes, I have to wear a mask going into the restaurant, but the minute I sit down at the table, I can remove my mask. Can you tell me why, when my child goes to school, he has to wear a mask the entire day? For what purpose? If I can take it off at a restaurant, why can't my child take it off at school? So I think that, there's a theme here. If you're on a talk show, I guess it's just all of media now has just become so left wing and out of control. And it used to be that, the media was supposed to say very not take really any sides. They were just supposed to report the news. You know what I mean? That just doesn't happen anymore. They put so much feeling and so much of their opinions on everything instead of stating the, whatever the facts are or the information, and letting their viewers, come to whatever conclusion they want to come to. It's gotten to a point where I feel like they just get so bent out of shape for every little thing. So I personally don't believe that General William Barr had any ill intent in saying that slavery was comparable to the social injustice that we are experiencing today. And I will be the first to admit we are experiencing a social injustice. I don't care what you say. I don't care how great you think these masks are. I don't care how many lives you think you're saving. You're believing a lie, okay? There's no proof that your mask is saving anybody's life. There's no proof. And I'll tell you why I say that. Because when the whole COVID thing happened to begin with, I was very, very compliant, and I wore a mask every single day because just like everybody else in the beginning, I was terrified, okay? But even wearing a mask, I got COVID. And I didn't quarantine for my family. I didn't wear a mask inside the house, and nobody else got it. So, you can think what you want of that. I'm just telling you what the facts are, okay? So based on my personal experience, I really don't feel like a mask makes or breaks the situation. I think if you have comorbidities, yes, you are more susceptible to COVID, but you're also more susceptible to a common cold. You're also more susceptible to the flu. You're more susceptible to strep. You're more susceptible to everything because you have pre-existing conditions that have weakened your immune system and have inflamed your body to the point where your body cannot fight very basic, viruses that might enter. Okay, so that's just a very basic way to look at it. And it's just in my opinion, YouTube. So don't say that I'm offering medical advice that isn't accurate, because I am not giving medical advice. I'm giving my personal opinion. Okay, so going back to this, I think in short, the ladies of The View were being overly sensitive. I think they took one little comment that he said and blew it out of proportion, okay? Then they even said that he didn't have a right to talk about slavery. Well, you know, that's a whole nother subject because y'all want to like talk about reparations and talk about this and talk about that, but then we can't talk about slavery, okay? We got to talk about it to be able to move past it if we can ever move past it. So I want to know what you guys think. Do you think the ladies of The View were overly sensitive to the slavery comment that William Barr made? Or do you think that you kind of missed it? It was no big deal. You really don't care. Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to share this video. And don't forget to come back for another episode. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.